You know, thinking this over, I'm realizing that I'm buying a bike in the middle of winter.
It's probably not the smartest decision ever, but also could be the smartest decision ever.
It could be. It very well could be. We're about to find out.
Gotcha, bitch!
Oh boy, it's a new year and I am so excited because today we are taking delivery of my very first hyperbike. Well, it is and it isn't at the exact same time. You'll see what I mean here very shortly. Now, before we get into the very fun part of the video, I just want to say welcome back to the channel and welcome to the channel if you're new to the channel. My name is Jake. I post some car-related content.
Lost.
Some bike-related content. Some snowmobiling content. And on the occasion, we do some medieval jousting content as well. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen, medieval jousting. I like to think I'm pretty cool myself, you know, not to brag or toot my horn or anything like that, but I think it's pretty cool. So if you think this is the type of content that you'd be interested in, of course, I'm gonna ask you to please join me along in my journey, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and share with a friend if you think they'd be interested in this type of content. Thank you. Now, before we fully unveil the bike, I thought it would be really fun to take a trip down memory lane of all the bikes that I've had over the years, because, you know, it's kind of fun to see where you've come from and where you've made it now. My motorcycle journey began back in 2017 when I bought my very first bike, a 2008 CBR 600RR. It was stupid loud with the Yoshimura exhaust, it was stupid fast because it was a 600, and it was a stupid bike to buy because it was my very first beginner bike. Would not recommend as a beginner bike, but it was a good bike besides that. My second bike was my 2017 Ducati Monster 821. Absolutely loved this bike. It was my most comfortable and arguably my most fun bike that I've had yet. 820cc was plenty enough. It was low, so I could flat foot it. Probably the only bike I'll own that I'll ever be able to flat foot. And the only complaint I really had on this bike was because it was a naked bike, you really fought the wind on the highway and became a human parachute. That's my only complaint. Loved the bike, also was loud, had an SC Project exhaust. And that leads us on to this bike, my current and for sale 2015 Ducati 899 Panigale. Don't get me wrong, this bike has been so much fun. I've absolutely loved this bike, but it's had its time, it's had its moment. It's the bike that I wanted for a long, long time, at least the Panigale that it is. And now that I've gotten to experience it and realizing that it's actually pretty uncomfortable to ride, I wanted to upgrade to something that was still just as fun, but a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more relaxed. And so that leads us on to the brand new bike being introduced to the Frostbite Garage. Here it is. Say hello to the newest edition of the Frostbite Garage, which is this beautiful Street Fighter V4S. Woo! 200 horsepower, somewhere around there, if not more. There definitely is more than that. Just a little over 400 pounds. This thing is an absolute death machine. I think this is what you would probably call a Widowmaker. This thing is absurd. Now, it is a hyper naked bike, and I know what I was saying earlier in the video of my Monster was so uncomfortable to ride because it was a naked. What's amazing about this Street Fighter, and I did go and test ride one before I bought it, was that the seating position of the Street Fighter has you sit a little bit more forward and you're a little bit leaned over, so you're already kind of cutting into the wind. Plus, there are some great aftermarket parts like the Rizoma windscreen, which we are going to be adding, which will kind of help the wind just a little bit more. But in the 30 minutes that I test rode the V4 that the local Ducati dealership had, I didn't really seem to have an issue of the wind buffering or fighting the wind all that much. The problem I had on that bike specifically, and that I'll have on this bike as well, was holding on for dear freaking life because, oh my gosh, this thing is stupid fast. Now, is this a good upgrade from the 899 Panigale? Yes, I would definitely say so. Is it a reasonable upgrade from the 899? No. This is an ungodly amount of power, and I don't know how people manage this much power as a beginner bike as well. Even I am a little bit scared on this bike, which in a way is a good thing. I'm super excited because not only is this bike mostly stock, but it's also in this beautiful matte black color scheme with these golden forks. So it has a few aftermarket parts on it, which I kind of want to show you guys what all it has. And there's a lot of them that we're most likely going to leave. For one, it comes with a few carbon fiber pieces, if you can call that carbon fiber, tank protectors, grips, quick release, gas cap, quad lock, which is awesome, but I'm most likely going to remove it. I used to have a quad lock on the 899, but I realized my phone was just more of a distraction than anything else, and you can just use turn-by-turn audio navigation in your helmet. Of course, it has these bar end mirrors, which are always nice and helpful. They do a pretty decent job. They don't look too terrible, so I'm happy with that. The exhaust was professionally Cerakoted. I'm not sure how to say that or what the actual term is, but instead of being this ugly silver giant box, the previous owner did it in black. We also have some carbon fiber heel guards, which I don't think are real carbon fiber, but it's not gonna matter anyway, because we have a ton of matte carbon fiber parts coming for this bike, which I am so excited about. I really think the matte carbon fiber is gonna blend into the black just a little bit, and so when you get up close and personal with the bike, it's gonna be kind of a shock and awe kind of factor. We also have the radiator side guards. I'm not sure what this piece is called, but this is usually in a silver, and the previous owner wrapped this gloss black, which is super nice, just cleans up the bike a lot. And of course, we have the Evotech radiator guards. Let me tell you, when I was so excited to see that this part was already installed, I was jumping with joy. Because if you don't know already or haven't seen an install video on those radiator guards, they're an absolute nightmare and pain in the butt to deal with. We also have these aftermarket turn signals, which are super nice. The ones that I usually have been seeing on these bikes are the ones that kind of clamp around the fork. And while they do look cool and seamless and all that, they're very hard to distinguish. They're also very hard to see. And as a motorcycle rider, you want to be seen on the road as best as possible, which is ironic because I bought a black bike. So we also have this nice tail tidy back here. I might be replacing this tail tidy, mostly because from a distance with that blinker, it's a little hard to tell what's right and what's left, as you can see. But very seamless, very clean. And then another thing that we're most likely going to be swapping out, which I already have the adapter for, is of course this license plate frame. I really don't think I have to explain this one. In some states, I know the way that it's positioned and angled is legal, but I can tell you here in Utah and assure you 100%, I will not be making it home, and home's only 10 minutes away before highway patrol pulls me over and impounds the car because the license plate frame is not that visible. All in all, this bike is beautiful. It's in great condition. It has 7,800 miles on the odometer, as you can see right there. And I'm okay with it being a little bit higher mileage. That means I don't really have to worry all that much about depreciation. And the previous two owners were really, really good about maintenance. They had all the service records and everything like that. And they are also enthusiasts as well. So I know that the vehicle has been very well maintained and very well kept. And I am just beyond excited to start making this bike my own, to start putting the mods on it, all the parts on it, and even though it is stupidly loud, to make it even louder. With that being said, that's gonna wrap up the video. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for watching the video. As always, make sure to live life on the edge. And of course, I'll ask you if you could kindly like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much. Hope you're having an amazing start to your 2025. Live life on the edge as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. See ya. With me being 5'6", I don't have to, oh my goodness, my giblets are getting shoved around right now.
Artlist.io